A tragic shooting in the Whittier neighborhood of South Minneapolis on Thursday has resulted in the deaths of 3 individuals, including a Minneapolis police officer, a suspected shooter, and a civilian. Several others were injured in the incident. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey announced in an evening news conference that Officer Jamal Mitchell was among those killed. He was a hero, a son, a father, a fiancé, and an officer who was deeply committed to protecting and serving, Frey said. Just a year ago, Officer Jamal Mitchell was recognized for a heroic act in saving several people, including an elderly couple. That is just the kind of person he was. In addition to those killed, a man was injured, a bystander was in critical condition, and an officer and a firefighter sustained non-life-threatening injuries. The Minneapolis Police Department responded to a reported double shooting at an apartment building near 22nd Street and Blaisdell Avenue around 5:20 p.m. Officer Mitchell arrived and found an injured person a block away. As he attempted to provide medical assistance, he was ambushed and shot, according to Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension Superintendent Drew Evans. A second officer arrived and exchanged gunfire with the suspect, who was injured and died at the scene. Inside the apartment, officers found 2 men who had been shot. One of these men died, and the other was gravely injured but survived as of late Thursday night. Assistant Chief Katie Blackwell paused during the press conference to remember Officer Mitchell, highlighting his bravery and dedication. The area around Blaisdell Avenue was heavily secured, with law enforcement presence including the FBI, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and SWAT teams. The U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives St. Paul Field Division also responded to the scene. Residents nearby were alarmed by the heavy police presence and chaotic scene. Tyler Carson, a local resident, recounted how he saw people fleeing from the apartment building and realized something severe had occurred. Law enforcement gathered at HCMC in downtown Minneapolis to honor their fallen colleague, forming a procession outside the hospital. This shooting marks the second time this year that a first responder has been killed in Minnesota. Earlier in February, Burnsville police officers Matthew Rouge and Paul Elmstrand, along with firefighter-paramedic Adam Finseth, were killed while responding to a call involving an armed suspect barricaded with 7 children. The last fatal shooting of a Minneapolis officer while on duty was in 2002, when Officer Melissa Jane Schmidt was killed. Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association Executive Director Brian Peters expressed deep sympathies, stating, "This officer exemplified unmatched dedication, bravery, and service in defense of the public. Our deepest sympathies and prayers are with his family, friends, and fellow officers as they navigate through this incredibly challenging time." Assistant Chief Blackwell concluded, "This has been a terrible day for our agency and in law enforcement. And that's happening all too frequently, affecting so many. The community and law enforcement are grappling with the loss, honoring the service of Officer Mitchell, and ensuring that no further threat remains to the public." The investigation into the incident continues as officials work to understand the motives and circumstances surrounding this tragic event.